This
Pretty
conference
fiery.
will now be
Yeah,
recorded.
where's he at?
I don't know, but he better get on here. Oh, he was posting about it.
Oh,
You
He
can't do
might
two
have
things
had
at
another
once.
blue screen of death.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Maybe
Yeah.
if he got a Mac, he wouldn't have that problem.
yes,
Be
yes.
sure to tell him that when he gets on.
Speaking of the devil, there he is.
Yeah, but at least
Yep.
at least his software hooks up to the correct software correctly without a bunch of I can't say it shit.
It all
We
hooks up fine.
we weren't
With a
talking
bunch
about
of
you, Chris.
All right, see you.
So, do you want our topic today to be what we discussed the topic could be today?
It can be.
Yeah.
Are you hiding stuff in the background, Myers? And you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, it's on Blur. You're not drunk. That's Blur.
Well, you
they was
can't
all
say that
cracking.
definitively.
They were all cracking on you, saying you didn't know how to operate computers, is why you couldn't get on here.
I'm on time. I was here before
No,
4 o'clock.
no. I said you might have had another blue screen of death,
Well,
and
that's
then
true.
yeah,
And if you had a Mac, you wouldn't have that problem.
Yeah, I mean, you might be right.
yeah. That filter was on tight right then, wasn't it?
There
Anyway,
could be some major incompatibility issues.
well,
Well,
cool.
yeah. It's always fun being in tech support, dealing with other tech supports. Um, when you tell them, "Hey, I run my business off this laptop," and, "Oh yeah, just reinstall Windows and do all your stuff over again."
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well, that's reading out of a 3-ring binder, so
Because they don't know what the
probably.
hell they're talking about.
Exactly.
Hey, so while this is recording, I got to say thank y'all once again for a fine, well-tuned machine that I don't have to do damn maintenance on and think about some itty bitty little set screw that can screw up the stepper motors. So I'm appreciative of y'all.
I'm glad.
He's,
I'm glad you like it.
he's
We're
having
pretty.
CNC troubles.
The one little set screw on the ball
Yeah.
screw that attaches to the X stepper motor
Mhm.
came loose. Just an eighth of a turn loose, and it was missing steps and screwing everything up for hours.
Like
Oh wow.
massive problems.
But
Was this
thank
on
God
your
for Axiom.
CNC?
Yeah, that was my CNC. But I called Axiom, and they're like, okay, do this, do this, do this. And we walked right through the problems.
Yeah.
But one damn little screw, and I'm thankful y'all don't have that damn little screw.
Well, there may be one in there somewhere, but it'd have to back out pretty far to cause any trouble, I think. But anyway, well, let's go
So
to the
what was
topic.
the
Unless,
what
huh?
was the subject that's supposed to be that wasn't the subject that's supposed to be the subject?
The UV.
Brian, we weren't
So
supposed to say anything about that.
we weren't.
No. Who said that? It's out now.
You,
Or,
you
damn it.
did.
Well,
Damn it.
it's
You said
sitting right
Damn,
you said
there.
the cat was out of the bag and we could talk about it.
damn it, Bill.
I have it in the
Which,
in the messages from last night.
Well, isn't that
Yes.
what's sitting right there? So it's sort of out of the cat's out of the
Um,
bag, anyways.
yeah. Well, I
where?
didn't say
Where?
it.
Where?
I see just a new model.
Yep. New model.
What do you call
There
it?
you
What are they
What are you
saying by the
talking
end of
about?
the year?
Once we work through some of the beta issues, it may be closer to August, September.
Is that delivery or ordering?
Ordering.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't. We like
No.
to under promise and over deliver here. So
So do we.
so hopefully by the end of the year you'll see the machine starting to hit the states. A couple of small tweaks that we got to make. They're working with Lightburn as well on a couple of issues that are not Thunder issues, but they're more settings for the UV. issues. And once they have all that dialed in, I think it'll be game on.
I can't wait.
Send
It
me
is
the
pretty
invoice.
cool.
I got orders to fill and I need it.
I hear you on that one. It's
This is gonna do some major stuff for everybody that does glass bottles or I mean anything like that. You know.
yeah, it does amazing work on glass. Most of y'all probably saw the AR. What's he doing?
He's in his car.
Oh,
Oh,
the Mac,
oh,
the,
yeah, the mag that I did, multicolor. That was pretty cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting.
But once you get one of those,
Definitely.
you'll yeet your CO2 machine as your glass engraver because it'll be the cat's meow.
Yeah,
Pretty
the
good.
what was I gonna say? I forgot now. No,
Cat got your tongue.
yeah, the PPE is definitely going to be something that you're going to want to consider on this, or you will want to make sure that you have your door closed for sure.
Well, maybe Travis can actually get a tan up in Alaska with getting one of those.
Yeah, this isn't like the fiber laser or the CO2 where you can look at it and watch it. It's a bit stronger.
What's the wattage on it?
5 watts.
I was looking at some videos online of guys with high-powered UVs that are in like the 40 and 50 watt range, and it'll cut through half-inch thick glass.
Yeah,
On
I
a
did
galvo
almost.
head?
I almost cut through on mine until it shattered, but it was getting through there.
George, were they doing gantry style or a galvo that moved?
Now, it was a no-name company that I never heard of. I wouldn't run out and buy one. The only thing I'm looking
Well,
to buy is
even
got a big blue T on it.
I think the JPT source only goes up to the 5, which is what we have. They don't make a real high wattage one that I know of.
Yeah, I've only seen like I think 10 watts.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was gonna cut glass, like really thick glass, that's when you start talking water jets and stuff, right?
Yeah, but being able to get depth because theoretically CO2 is not even supposed to give you any. That's actually just because there's too much fracturing going on. You know, it's not even supposed to ablate material. So, and the UV can, which is spectacular. That's why I like it because you get almost that third dimension because you get the depth there that casts shadows and stuff like sandblasting can do. You know that a frosted two dimensional can't really portray. So it looks cool.
It is nice. That's for sure, especially on the glass. But leatherette. Let me see if I can find it. But it was the first time ever on this JDS leatherette. Let's see here. I got too many windows open. But I was able to get a perfect shiny silver.
Hmm.
You know,
That's
and I've
That's
tried all
hard.
type.
That stuff right there, the black with the gold or silver under, it's the worst ever. At least from the little bit that I've messed with them.
But yeah, I mean, I've got fiber tests, I've got CO2 tests, and by every stretch of the imagination, this was perfect.
Oh yeah, sweet.
So, Chris, are you making us a material library in all of your practice?
I am. I am building a library. What do I have so far? I have a very specific UV library. So I got white on acrylic. I have orange acrylic, gray, dark gray. I have copper, dark and light on copper. JDS plastic cups, JDS leatherette, PMAG black, tan, white. So yeah, I'm building it slowly
Sweet.
but surely. What else we got going on? Anybody? There's nobody new here, is there? So
Mark, Bill.
yep. If you guys want to turn your mics on and have any questions, we're happy to answer.
I don't have any questions. I was able to get my that switch set up on the fan you guys helped me with 2 weeks ago, so I can just run it from a switch. So that was helpful. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I joined late. What are you guys talking about that's new?
Oh, we can't talk about it. It's the cat's meow, as Chris said. Since I can't come up with my own material, at least I can get on the board once.
I should join I need to be on 2 minutes early next time.
So we were talking about the UV Galvo that Chris Lacazio has sitting behind him. So that's going to be out pretty soon, hopefully. Neat little toy. Well, not a toy, but
I do like the fact that it's got a illumination button, so you can cycle through the different levels of brightness. That's pretty nice.
Oh, wow.
I think I messed up my door.
that's the fully auto door. That's the
It
ones
is.
that they'll open and close by themselves. Normally, unless
Well, let's say I will piggyback off of Chris. Sorry though, but when he's talking about the PPE, I mean I have a 10 watt, so it's a little bit
should I
different.
mute
But
him or should we listen?
Eat them. Go ahead and eat them.
I did.
Yeah, so
what?
The door is automatic. You start your project, it automatically comes down and starts. Finishes the job, it'll automatically pop up. And in most cases, I don't necessarily agree with something like that, but seeing how bright this is and what it could do to your eyes, I definitely agree with it. And it's going to have a pass through, which is pretty nice too. On the two sides here, you have removable panels. So if you do have something longer that you need to put in there, you can actually fit it and keep the door down to stay safe, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah. Because you got to remember, this is this is Aurora V2, the Galvo, the V1's over there next to it. So this is, just the evolution has been really good. The feedback's been really good on the other one. So I think it's a pretty good looking machine. I think it's going to be kicking.
You think Thunder will offer a pair of glasses as like an optional item?
Well, I mean, through the ecom system, we could probably figure something like that out as we move forward. I mean, that's something we could run up the, flagpole and see if they wanted to do that, at the factory, maybe even in the toolbox. I can't guarantee anything, but that'd be something we could look at. I mean, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because you're going to have at some point to align or maintain your equipment, whether it's CO2 or pantry, whatever. So it kind of would make sense to throw some in there, to be real honest.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't on the fiber though. We just make recommendations.
Yeah.
So each user can kind of pick out their style. Some may want, overlays for their current glasses or full, goggles.
Yeah.
One
So
of
that's
the
the way
things
we're handling it right now.
Meow. If you look at the door, anybody notice a little square
Yeet.
object on the? Yeah.
A little square
Y'all
what?
see this little square panel on the door? Did you talk about that?
Yeah, the pass through.
This? The pass through?
Yeah, yeah. Did you
What were
talk
you
about that?
using? Yes.
I was in the ticket system there for a little bit.
All right. Yeah.
It'll
So
pull
it
you in.
does. It still does have the autofocus system, right? I do like the fact that we got rid of the. Tommy will know this. The four bolts you got to take off the top to get to the electronic side.
Thank God.
It's now a hinge system, so it's latched and hinged, easy to get to.
Does that mean that that
Um,
one also has the autofocus USB bus on a hub internally, so there's only one USB port for everything? I saw that in a diagram, but I don't know if it was this version.
there has to be because there's no plug and no wire that
Okay,
comes with the kit.
perfect.
So
Yeah,
you plug
that's
into one to program
and
it, right?
yeah, and run it. You don't have to string that spare wire. Yeah.
From what I've seen, there's only 2 lenses available with this. I need to get the other one because I just found out I'm limited. I couldn't do my my Glock. Um, what else? Rounded corners now. So newer design, rounded corners, new touchscreen, or they're not the old style mechanical buttons, right? It's more of a,
Yeah.
what would you call it?
Like on the Rowita.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. What else?
Is it
The
a
light.
Philtech head?
It is that is a good question.
Steno Galvo. It should either be a Philtech or it would be. No, it would. If it were the Philtech, that's usually on the ones with the other boards in them, isn't it?
It's a Singalvo.
Oh, is it? As the Aurora 8?
Yeah. AF
Okay.
2206 600.
Yeah. Okay. I
The
like the
the run.
autofocus sensors in those because they have the Panasonic autofocus sensors in there. I like those
Mhm.
heads.
And you got the JPT source, which everybody's
Yeah.
going to be happy about. What else? What else?
On-off light.
On-off
Green.
light. Oh yeah, your work light versus. So I just hit the play button, and it's going to bring up my frame. And there you go. See that it turned on. So I did bring that up to China, and we'll see what they do about it. I personally would prefer my status indicator lights in the front. They have them on the sides. Yeah, I don't know if it's too late to change any of that, but it is cool. I mean, you can definitely see it glowing on the sides, but it would be cool to have it out front.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were able to see that it did. I hit the start button, closed down, automatic, ran the job, finished the job, automatic open. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty quick too. I wouldn't say that it's slow. You're not waiting for it for a long time.
Can you turn that automatic door off? Because some materials I know with any of the other lasers that we've got are just really stinky, and I want to leave the lid closed a little bit longer so it can air out.
We will.
The end delay and light burn ought to do that. Would you think? It depends. We'd have to test it maybe.
I can test that. Yeah. That might work, and I'm sure it's based off of the TL timer, so it might be adjustable in there as well.
Yeah, there may be some way to do that.
Let's see. I don't know if the end delay is available in here. I don't think it is. That is not an option in.
Okay.
Yeah, not in Galvo. It's not an option. So I'll have to see if it is adjustable, and I'll ask. Good question. Very good question.
I know there's a way to defeat
bypass
the.
it.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to say. You can defeat the interlocks, but
Yeah, you can defeat the interlocks, and then I can also. You have to hold down our on button and our door button for 5 seconds, and you can see we got a flashing light now, and that will bypass the door. So now the door won't go up and down. So if you need to put something larger in there, you can, but make sure you have your PPE.
How you like that new track system?
Um, I kind of like it.
Now that's a
I
good
have,
question because I don't know what I think about them yet.
yeah. I mean, I do have for my CNC. I do have the T-bar tracks, and I think with the properly made grips, I think it'll work really well to hold stuff down.
Just it's
Is
a
that
whole
bed
different.
removable with tracks on it, or is the tracks like permanently mounted?
It looks like the track. I mean, they could be removed, but I don't know. I haven't taken it
I don't
apart
think
yet to
it's
see what's
made to
underneath.
be.
That just leads to a whole nother line of accessories and crap that's got to be purchased to go with
Have double jigs and fixtures.
Yeah,
Well,
Well, I
so
mean,
not
it is
pretty much your
necessarily.
answer is hardware. It's
Yeah,
just
it
instead
is
of being on a grid spacing, you've got T-slot tracks.
and
it will ship with six T-slot bolts too to hold stuff down. So
okay.
Okay.
What size?
what size what?
Bolts.
What size T slot bolt or nuts? The M5 or M6?
Um,
I mean, the old ones were M6, so I'd imagine they would be M6. But
one would assume.
well, the I guess it's the
Standards M6.
so when I measure so 0.7 or 7 mil, and then 13.5 at for the head. I mean,
7
it
mil
seems like it's
wide,
a
7 mil wide.
Yeah.
correct.
Can you measure the inside bore?
Yeah, it was 13.5. I mean, it fits my CNC stuff perfectly. I mean, it's
I guess the best way to check would be to take one from your fiber and try it on it, and see if it's the right size or not.
well, there's no screws on it. It is literally a T slot.
Yeah, it's just a nut inside. It's a nut inside the track, right?
Oh, they didn't send me any of those. They accidentally sent me one without, but they plan on including 6. So yes, I don't know what it's going to be.
Okay.
We get an answer. Hey,
And the space on
Jason.
that's what, about 10 by 10?
For the bed size,
Roughly. You don't have to be exact.
yeah, I like being exact.
How'd I know you were going to be exact?
14 3/4 by 11 1/2.
Pretty big.
Of course,
That's what she said.
just like with gantry, our gantries, the bed's actually bigger than the work area, so that'll be defined in this case by the lens and some of that stuff too. But,
What lenses are they
yeah,
coming out with for them?
Currently, this one has the 170, and they're going to offer one other option, and I believe it's I don't know where I saw it, but they said something to me. I'll have to look through, but they are going to offer a secondary lens as well, which I need to message them about anyway.
Time to call Grant, tell him to take my money.
We already have.
If you're on the fence, this is definitely one that could do metal and leather and acrylics and I mean everything that the CO2 and a fiber laser can do. But you're not going to get the depth. So if you need depth out of metal, you're not getting that. It's not going to happen. But it will color it. So it's a
Yeah.
good all around. So if you're on the fence of getting, what's my next step to add to my arsenal? The UV is definitely a good next step.
You'd say the key difference would be depth of metal.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to do a 3-dimensional coin or like a FFL serial marking on guns, you're not going to get that out of this. I don't believe. I haven't let it sit there for that long. It does great topical marking.
And you said you tried plastics?
It'll go deep.
Will it go deep in metal?
Yeah, it'll go deep in metal, but honestly it takes forever. So if it's something that's like a primary business focus, it's probably not best for that, but it'll definitely do it. It just, even with my 10 watt that I have, it takes a while because you got to go so slow.
There's Travis.
Travis
He can
has joined us.
break our awkward smile, our awkward silence rather, and we could tell him. You know what we were talking about, don't you? Because we're not going to tell you.
But the UV?
Okay.
I mean, no. What were you talking about?
The UV. So.
Now, how does UV do on things like stainless steel?
That is something that I wanted to test and I haven't tested.
Because
Very
right
good.
now we do a whole bunch of elevator nameplates, and something that could get a little bit darker because I'm still getting just like a dark brown coloring on my nameplates instead of a true black.
There's elevators in Alaska.
There's what? Yes, there is. They go up one whole story.
The UV will do. Well, I've got to do like a true black, and you can also mess with the settings and get different shades. But it'll do black on stainless about as good as it'll do engraving on glass. It's nice, smooth. You don't have a lot of texture to it. It's just kind of surface layer.
Okay.
It is bright, I will tell you that much.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful when you're using UV, more so than probably any of the others.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I've actually gotten
give you a welder's eye for sure.
Well, I've had it not burn me, but just reflection off of metal. Because mine's an open bed, but just a reflection off the metal, you can feel it if you're close enough. If it hits on your skin, you can feel a warm sensation, much like you would with the fiber. But
Doesn't want to make you meow, does it?
no, it doesn't hurt as much
Really?
as a fiber when it reflects.
Who just went yeet yeet?
Yeet.
Did you hear that? Somebody went yeet yeet. I heard it. Who was it?
I think you're hearing stuff, Brian.
Maybe it's my medication. I'm off my medication. Well, maybe that's it. I don't know.
That'd be crazy if somebody did that.
It would be.
I'm assuming they're Kanye West fans. I have no clue.
No, it's
kind of like that thing on
weird.
Super Troopers where they went meow. How many times they can tell that guy meow? Maybe
Hey,
that's
don't
what's
mess
happening.
with Super Troopers.
I like Super Troopers.
It's stupid humor, no, like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anywho, well, if anybody's got any laser questions, feel free to jump in. Looks like some stuff's popping in here. So
Travis.
what's
There you
that
go.
on?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Stainless.
Okay, Chris.
Have you guys
How does that wear,
announced?
Chris?
Have you guys announced the price of the UV yet?
From what we understand, it's going to be somewhere between 9 and 10, which
Is
is,
it Lightburn compatible?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I would.
It's an
It wouldn't
important
be in my
question to
shop.
ask.
It wouldn't be here if that was the case.
But is the Galvo Lightburn going to be included with it?
That is a good
Hmm.
question.
Y'all don't
Probably
do it on
not.
the fiber because you have two different wattages and sources or control
This is
boards.
true.
So
Yeah, I don't.
awkward silence
that
as
is,
they try to go.
It'll probably still include EasyCAD 2, right? As part of the board, and then if you want to use Lightburn just like the fiber, you are on your own for that license. Part of it is the way that the Galvo license structure works. And a lot of these users already have Lightburn.
PSP
Because they have,
or
they've already got them. So
Yeah.
it's one of those.
sometimes you just need an addition. You need to add a Galvo to your key, you know, and some people don't. So it's real hard to manage. But
Are you running 1.4, Chris?
yes.
And then what? I'm assuming you need another piece added to it, a separate Galvo license.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lightburn's got all the information on the website.
Yeah.
Do you have any? Are you using the same single piece of software to drive both your UV, your fiber, and your CO2? Or are you running two different?
Yeah, I can stay in one program and just switch between devices.
Just like I can switch between my two different CO2s, I can also switch with the fiber.
mm-hmm.
Any drawbacks you've seen yet on the
With
unit?
from this unit,
Yes.
yeah, but they're all beta related. I don't think I was really upset at first with the automatic door. I didn't like it, but once I stared at it for a while it was working, I realized why. Beyond that, no. I mean, any issue that I've seen so far will be corrected for the consumer version. And another good thing about Thunder is, we're working hand in hand. They sent a demo unit. We're giving our feedback, and they're already making corrections and going to be sending me parts to upgrade mine to test yet again. So it's a
That's the way
process
they
that
roll.
you probably don't see. Yeah, it's a process that you probably don't see with other companies.
All the product lines roll that way. So
aside from the glasses you were talking about, what about like a plastic protective piece around the actual laser?
Well, with the door
the whole
closing,
thing's
you should be fine.
enclosed.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody wanted to work, like I said, with the door open instead of putting glasses on or working on it. I've seen some of the smaller lasers where they have like the orange or the green lens around, or plastic around the lens.
Yeah, a lot of
As an
people that own the
Well-
diodes, the diode lasers, stuff like that will
Yeah,
do
yeah,
So
something
they
like
do it
that.
on the fibers too, which I
Yeah.
mean, technically that is an enclosed machine. That's the same thing as having a hand built or custom built, whatever, enclosure for your laser. That one's just already enclosed. Because you'd still, if you were going to put an oversized part in one of those other, shields that goes around it, you'd still have to have an opening
Mhm.
at some point to put it through. But
Yeah, and from the front head on, you're protected.
Yeah.
The side we've got the 4 bolts, this whole panel, which is It looks like it's 8 by 7.5 or so. That whole panel will come out. So if you do have something you need to pass through, you know, just like the rest of our machines, we do have a pass through, so you can pass it directly through. So if you have your AR in there, and you know the stock is sitting on one side and the muzzle sitting on the other side, you can be engraving
Still
the whole
watch it
body of it.
through the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
You still watch it through the front, be protected, and it's coming out the side. So yeah, you're good.
I don't know.
just
I don't know
noticed
what
it
I
doesn't
thought
have a
about.
handle on it, but I think that's probably because of the automatic opener and closer.
Yeah. I don't know how I felt about that door at first either, but it's faster than I thought it would be, smoother and faster than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and I mean it is triggered too, so it's pretty nice. It's very
And then looking to
smooth.
go with that same style mechanism for G2 on the fiber.
I believe so. I believe all the units are
Probably.
going to go this way.
Yeah.
It looks pretty
Which,
sweet, man. I'm excited.
like I said, I mean, if you need to, you can hold down the buttons and you can bypass it until you recycle. Once you recycle the power, then it's going to turn that off.
Oh, that's good. So you don't screw up and forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
4-inch exhaust port on the back for exhaust system.
Correct.
Standard size. Did they give you a
Yep.
fan with it too, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan.
It's
and you
kitted
can
and
turn
ready to run, just like the.
You know, and actually, now that I haven't hooked mine up yet because I got to figure out how I want to get it out of my building. But it does have a fan button, so I'm thinking that maybe you can turn it on and keep it running, Lois.
Okay.
So even if the door is closed or open, I mean, if it's pulling the entire time, that's going to help anyway.
Yep.
And actually, I can hook it up. See.
Now,
It looks like. Go ahead, Chris.
Tommy probably already knows this, but on the fiber, if you need that fan to run, just turn that little switch on the TL timer, and that fan will run the whole time the fiber's on. That's how I run mine.
And we had that for a while until we ironed out all the connectivity issues and I can't say issues, but the quirks that we were having with the Mac. And I just reset everything back, and like I said, it came down to frequency.
Yep.
So we switched it back. But you're absolutely right. There are times where I just need to leave the damn thing on. But it's a little warm down here now, so maybe not so much. I got all the air conditioning.
Yeah, I'm in my garage, so it doesn't make much of a difference.
So the new one's a bigger fan than the version 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they went from
Is that a 4-inch
75
now?
to a hundo.
Yeah, it is a 4-inch, 100 millimeter.
Okay.
Right.
That sounds
Thereabouts.
legit.
Ours is what, a 3-inch?
3 and something, yeah. 75 millimeter, right? I think.
Something like that.
I think that's what it says.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of buying the 10 for my my CO2. I should have went with the 6.
Too much?
Yeah, I get like weird. I don't know what it's called. I guess it's like a Venturi effect.
What about cranking just cranking the speed down on it so you're only pulling less CFMs, and run it at a lower speed maybe?
Yeah, I either need to run really low or really high.
Huh.
Like if I run like 3, and then if I need more suction, I go straight to 10.
Gotcha. There is no in between.
Well, there is in between. Just I think because it's so big, even though I had somebody come in to do the duct work for me, I think I just should have went with a 6 straight through all the way.
And why not an 8?
You still have to do the upsizing and the downsizing. I went through the ceiling to go out the roof, so this way I'm not upsetting neighbors by directly venting out through the side.
Okay.
Neighbors are fine.
Do you have a 6-inch port on your machine? or 8-inch?
I have a 6 on the back of my
Okay.
51-100.
Okay, then yeah, I see where you go with the 6.
Yeah. I was contemplating trying to pull that out and put in an 8, and then just
I,
run
Is
8 to a 10.
yeah, my
the ones
machine's
I've
It
looked
wouldn't
older,
at
pretty
is
so
welded
bad. I think
in.
that might help.
my machine came with that big green centrifugal fan, that jet engine. It sounded
That's
like
what
it.
mine came with.
And
And then
I
I
got
bought
a AC
the Cloud
Infinity,
10.
and I got the 6, and everybody kept saying I ought to do the 8, and that was before we even had 8-inch ports. But the 6 has been done fine, for what I do. So
I
seems
wish
to
I
be
wish I had had the 8-inch port on my 51, and that I could have then upsized the fan. Because there's times where it definitely could use some more oomph.
I'm not sure that if you increase or reduce, whatever you want to call it, right out of the machine and go up a little bit, that there's a whole terrible lot of loss there. I mean, you know what I mean? If you did want to go bigger. I mean, I know there's a little. I mean, if you do the math, I know there is, but it seems to me like, going up a couple inches in diameter would have a big benefit in a lot of cases.
I went with the 10s this way for the future as I was expanding and adding a second
Right.
machine I could just tie right into the
Oh,
ductwork
yeah,
and have both
definitely.
machines up
Just
at the
have
same
it
time
upstream. Yeah.
with one
Now we
fan.
did,
Yep. And then just close it off with draft stops.
Yeah.
now we did just have a customer that they're creating some sort of back pressure that's stalling their laser exhaust fan. With their ductwork connected, the fan will not actually start spinning, but if they disconnect the ductwork, it'll spin. They got some big fan on the other end that's basically, I guess, creating enough pressure to where that little DC motor can't quite.
Can't spin up.
Yeah, because they're very low current to get that CFM, so they take a little while to spool up. But yeah, it just stalls. It won't do it. So
Almost
watch
don't
for
even
that.
need it at that point if you're getting that much static pressure, or from
Well,
the main source.
they might be pushing air back through the machine. So basically,
Yeah.
their ductwork might be, choking somewhere. So all that extra
Gotcha.
air from their main fan is basically going through their machine.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
It was almost like if they sequenced where their Nova was on before the other fan kicked in, that it was okay. So
That's
that
crazy.
was an odd one. Yeah.
So who's got anything new? Jason, I know I think you were on here last time, but did you actually talk about that entry level roller, or is that since then?
Yeah, well, we talked about it.
Yeah, I
But as
like it.
far as
I like it a lot, especially for these Auroras.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say right now, but the low roller is good for those right now. And yeah, when the new one comes out, that'll probably be another alternative for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got that, and then we're working on the side project as well. That you guys are aware
Oh,
of.
that thing we
Right.
can't talk about.
Yeah,
The
that
other
thing.
thing we can't talk about. I didn't say that either.
But
There's
that's kind
lots
of
of
going
things we
hand
could talk about one day.
in hand with the other one. But that should the new one should be probably about a couple months.
Yeah.
And then the other one I'm referring to, that'll be later as needed, but it's in
Right.
work as well.
Cool. I got nothing. I haven't done
But other than that,
much
just enjoying
this
this.
week. Huh?
No, I was gonna say other than that, just enjoying the slow season.
Oh yeah. There's a slow season?
What are you talking
Sometimes.
about?
So I had an interesting experience with a supplier. If you guys want to hear about it.
Go for it.
So, and it's not a bad mouth. Try not to take it that way, but everybody works a little differently, right? So a lot of our key suppliers, usually they have pricing. Pricing's usually set for anywhere from 30 days to 6 months. Amazon works their pricing on what they call micro adjustments. So that's why if you buy something on Amazon one day and then you go back and you buy it the next day, it may have increased by 7 cents or decreased by 4 cents, whatever the case is. I've learned how another company makes their money. It is a direct from China purchase in the bright orange bags. So this way I'm not bashing anybody. And they doubled the price on an item between when I bought the test piece to show the client and when I went back to buy 100 of them. They doubled the price on me after I already quoted the job.
Doubled the
That's wild.
price.
It doubled. It went from 99 cents to $2. Doesn't sound like much, right? $1. But when you're dealing at 100 pieces,
Mm-hmm.
And you've quoted it.
that really does begin to affect your bottom line. So be wary with the orange bags.
For the orange bags.
I would never say the name of the company out loud.
I mean, is it an Amazon company or sold on Amazon or?
It rhymes with Mimu.
Oh, it's like the new Wish.com company.
Is that the one
Yeah.
that's hacking everybody's phones to give data to the other country?
I don't know if they did or did not. Temu. T-E-M-U.
That's
I
what's
still
in a
have no
bunch
idea
of
what
the
you're
groups.
talking about.
Everybody's freaking out if you don't put the app on your phone, because apparently then the other country has all your stuff, but they have all our stuff anyway, really.
Yep. We give it to them.
So on that new
So
machine with the 4-inch fan, where's the air coming in from? Is there vents on the bottom of it?
On the new machine?
Yeah, to allow the air in with the closed door.
It'll come through the
Yeah,
T slots.
So there's vents here, and then
Okay.
there's vents here,
Okay, I can't see it on the. I got
and
you.
then they do have weather stripping along the entire bottom to seal it off too. So that's nice.
I've noticed that, and like I said, I'm new to this, but certain things I'm cutting, I just take the pass-through door off on my 51, and I get much better ventilation.
There is a baffle, a screw-on baffle behind the louvers,
Okay.
and if you want to keep that door on and create more flow, you can probably take that baffle off and still have the protection of the front louvers.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Yeah,
I
I'll
think
have it
that
figured
might
out.
defeat one of our FDA required safety systems, but
Yeah,
you
we don't
know,
want any kids
yeah,
looking up in through those little louvers and
yeah,
hitting the
keep that in
eyeball.
mind.
As long as it's dog safe, I'm good. I do have a newbie question on my 51. When I turn it on, it's not going back to the origin point. It'll go there and go to the center. Is that a light burn setting or is that on the machine?
Depends on what your origin point is. Are you trying to use 0, 0?
Well, I didn't do anything on purpose, but one day when I turned it on, it goes back to the 0, 0, and it goes to the center after that. And I'm like, is that a light burn thing or is that a machine thing I messed up?
It's a machine setting, I think, but you can get to it from Lightburn in the machine settings. I believe is
Okay.
where that is.
I had like 50 questions, but I forgot them all, so I'll write them down. I'm like, I'll just ask that on the call, and I forgot them all.
No, but I mean that sounds like it's your user origin. Like you've set a user origin. It's going to 0, 0, checking the end stops, and then moving back to whatever origin you set it to.
Origin was set. Yeah, but in the machine settings, I believe in that drop down, there's a return to current position or return to absolute or home,
Yeah, I mean,
however they say it in
the
there. And it should be just a drop down selection in the vendor tools. Um, I think that'll do it. Now, I think it also depends on what origin mode you're in. Like if you're in absolute, I think it may behave differently, or in one of
Hmm.
those modes, it behaves differently, no
yeah, I
matter
think it's
how
the
you
one.
have that machine setting set.
Yeah, I'll play with it.
Now be
And you can
careful with
also go ahead,
changing that.
Chris.
Your rotary will
Yeah.
not function properly if you change it to
Well,
like
that's
the
my
no
next.
return.
Yeah,
Do what?
I don't have one,
So
but I'm gonna get the Roto Boss, Jason. I'm saving up for it, so that's my next purchase.
Oh, okay. What were you
so
saying, Chris?
when, and this is every rotary, whenever you set the origin to for when it gets done to, I think, absolute or no return, for some reason the U-axis will frame properly,
Hmm.
and then when you hit the start button, it does something weird where it over-indexes the cup. So if you're doing double-sided, it'll mess you up, or if you're trying to line up with the logo on the cup, it'll mess you up. If you're doing a non-logo, JDS or whatever, that's just a plain painted cup, it won't really matter, right? Because the spacing doesn't really care. But if you're doing one where you're lining up with the logo or multi-sided, it'll mess it up. You have to put it back to
Well,
return to origin.
if before you start, if you hit find origin and zero it out, then that'll fix the problem with that. But every time you do it, you'll have to hit that zero. So if you're like doing one side of a cup and then you go to do the other side, you'll have to re-zero the origin.
Well, I mean, when you're using user origin, it shouldn't really care about the return position, but for some reason it screws it up. I've messed up a few tumblers doing that.
I usually use current position, and I haven't. You're talking about just on the Galvo, right?
No, on a CO2, on a Ruida
Oh,
based machine.
I don't
The
think you
I
can.
Thunder
don't
You
use
can't
that either.
firmware.
choose your origin. You can't choose your origins on a Galvo.
Yeah, on a
Yeah,
Galvo, it's
no.
just
But on the
XY.
Galvo, you have to go into the settings and reestablish your zero or go to zero. But with the CO2,
Oh yeah,
I'm not
return.
sure what.
Yeah, return to start point is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but on a CO2, I guess I was thinking fiber when you were saying that, or Galvo. But if see, I only use current position, so I'm not sure what user origin um, does, if it does
Well,
something different. But current position, I've never had any issues with.
Current
I
position doesn't really work well in Thunder firmware sometimes. It does the same thing as user origin. The only difference between current position and user origin is in user origin, once the head gets to where you want it, you actually have to push a button. There's one more step.
Yeah. Well, even in current position, I've noticed you have to do that too. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Like
Yeah,
it should know your current position, but then sometimes it doesn't work. So I always make a habit of just hitting user origin every time, anyways, or
Yes, I
so
origin
hit
on
for
the laser.
yeah, I hit origin on the controller all the time because if I don't,
Yep.
it always has problems and wants to go off somewhere else, no
I
matter
said,
if I'm using user origin or current position.
I
so
say
for
that
for
and the start button are the two most depressed on my laser.
yeah, so for Thunder laser users, we don't like current position, and we definitely don't use start from or start button in Lightburn.
Mm. Mm.
Faux show.
Oh, show.
Producer Jim will be glad to know that there's 6 minutes left in the event.
got
And
7.
then you got 7?
Real time.
7.
No,
7.
no.
No, it's 7. 4:53.
Somebody
Mhm.
yeet it again.
That was Jim.
See? I told you. And she meow. So, I lost big time. It is, yeah. Now you got 7 minutes.
Still got
4:53.
7.
You still got 7.
Yeah.
It won't change until it goes to 454. Then we'll have 6. There, we got 6.
There we go.
Nah,
All right. So this
Jim
is a
with the
countdown
logic.
then.
It's the
That,
How
final.
about
or we can just call it for the evening.
we could? Does anybody have any final questions, comments, interjections, opinions,
Objections.
anything? All right.